Thank you, Eric. That was good stuff. I've got a bunch for you. I'm going to sort of crank through these as well, so we can, keep on time. But let's just start up at the top. First thing is, to me, and some of these are more technical. They aren't as much as, I don't have as many pretty graphics as you, Eric, because I'm not a designer. But looking at testing your site, before you send people to your site, before you make all these promotions, first off, do a quick check of your site to make sure things are functioning right. First thing on my list here is go to your site, go to the page, to order an item, and look at your ordering area. Obviously you've got the picture of the image of the item, you've got the name of the item, you've got the price, but make sure you follow it up with options, quantity, add to cart, make sure the add to cart stands out, make sure it's nice, clean, organized, and separated so it stands out. It's very simple, but I've seen some sites where it's just all over the place, or the options don't line up, and it just makes it harder for the user to follow, and you just want to make sure it's clean. Secondly, once you do, you add that to the cart, go through and let's test your checkout. Let's see, is there anything during your checkout process that's not working or not working as expected? The checkout flow should be pretty standard. You should be, pretty much the same as it's always been, but you always want to just every once in a while check it out to make sure some change you put in recently didn't have some unexpected impact. If possible, get someone other than you to buy something from your site and go through the process. Just make sure they didn't have any hiccups. Lastly, on this slide, with testing your site, I talked about this at the Yahoo Summit. And at the Summit, I mentioned that if you go to a section page and you have pagination or filtering, turn off JavaScript. Go to that section page and just see, do your items still show up? Because if not, search engines aren't finding them. So make sure you do that. It's minor. All of these you can do within 10 minutes. You could be done and checked out your site. But any of these things, if they cause issues, are going to make a major impact on your bottom line. So take 5-10 minutes and check it out. Sound good, Eric?
All right.
Next, moving on to SEO. Looking at some minor SEO things you can do. These are not things that are going to make major changes in your rankings immediately, but let's just start off at the top. Adding canonical tags. This is something you would need most likely a developer to do for you. It's a small little hidden tag on the page to basically help Google not see duplicate content on your site. So you've got a page, you say, well, I only write this article one time, I write the description one time, I wrote my own custom content. How can Google see duplicates? Google can see duplicates if you have tracking suffixes on your URLs or someone links to your page differently. Google can get confused. You can have a developer put in a canonical tag. It's a very quick install so that you can guarantee Google will always see this one page as being only one page. So you won't get penalized in the fourth quarter. Moving on to publisher authorship markup. Publisher and authorship markup, which is what the graphic below shows, that's an authorship markup showing my little headshot in there, for good or bad. This can show up on your site. Publisher markup is meant site-wide, and it's meant to be as in the company is providing this information. It's a simple little head tag. You can drop it on your home page. It takes you 2 seconds, connect it up with your Google Plus account, and in theory you can get your logo to show up in listings. Now it doesn't always show up, but it does show up in certain cases. But also there's authorship markup. Authorship markup is meant for articles. When you're writing up articles, writing up information, you can put a little tag that says by so-and-so. You connect it to your Google Plus account. That's what did this little listing at the bottom here. The main thing is, the main benefit here is not so much like, ooh, I'm cool, I got my face in there. But if you aren't showing up 1, 2, or 3, what was the point of being 1, 2, or 3 in search engine results? It's so you get clicked. So if you aren't there, but that little headshot shows up, I've seen many times where I've seen a page of results, and I see a headshot in the middle, and that's the first one that draws my eye. Right. So it's a way of getting yourself noticed without necessarily even being able to get to the top of those terms. My last point, go ahead.
Let me interject real quick. I think a lot of people may be wondering if SEO really needs to be something they do now. I know a lot of merchants that I've talked to are afraid of doing anything in fear of messing up their store from an SEO standpoint. What would you have to say to people that have that concern?
I would say, first off, you could always work on improving your site. I mean, if you are ranking #1, okay, maybe you don't want to make major changes at this point in time. But otherwise, the changes that I would have you make are things that are going to be small changes, A, to protect your site, B, to slowly work at improving your site. If you're working at improving your site, improving your content, it's always a good thing. Google likes fresh content. Even if you're changing up your content a little bit, Google likes fresh content, and the more you can get in there, the better. I mean, the last time I got on there was writing quality content, and a lot of people get overwhelmed. They're like, I've got 5,000 products. How can I write content for 5,000 products? If you don't have a staff to do that, that's okay. But you know what? You've got a bestseller. You've got a couple bestsellers. Take 5 of them this week. Write 1 good description a day, and then do that next week. Because that's the important thing. Is don't worry about I've got to start alphabetically and start at A, because that's not your bestseller. Get the items that sell well, and get the content to rank well.